Hello, my name is Michael Bess, and I'm honored to be here by the San Francisco Downtown Senior Center to discuss a conversation about blindness, how I received it, what it's been like since I've received it, and how bright lights can be brighter in the future in reference to what I want to achieve via being a so-called novel, if we let it be. I went sighted, or blindness, if you will, blinded rather, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous, roughly 18 years ago. It was due to the ingestion of a drug entitled crack. It was progressive. I would read, I used to like library like anyway. I would be reading, and all of a sudden the words would sort of like disappear. It would almost look as if someone were having a stroke. Then within 24 to 40 hours later, 48 hours later, the words would come back. I would be able to see them again. But the more I ingested that powerful affliction, addiction, the more it began to go away and dissipate more, until both eyes went. The left one went first, then the right one. People ask, why did I persist to do such a silly thing, knowing it was it? You know, a lot of times we're weak in one way and strong in others. I have many weaknesses, and that was one. Being addicted, not only that, I have to watch other things like sugar, salt, and things like that, but it's a work in progress. This point in my life, in recovery from the way I got that blindness, is becoming a lot better, workable, I should say. There are a lot of people who help you in this great city of San Francisco with that malady. So many sources. There's a lighthouse, of course, being main rock source. Places to go for your blindness, and you get tested. You're introduced to techniques of getting around blindness, which I'll segue to. The first increment of that is learning mobility, learning how to use that stick. Ideally, one of the first things you learn is to walk in the middle because of the obstacles. That is when you're walking on the sidewalk. On the right are sticking out like the fire plugs, signs, people, and other things that are sticking out the sidewalk. And you're always taking a chance of running into. Lord forbid you not be walking too fast. I've been stung once or twice. I still have a habit of being right-handed, right-footed. That'll probably never go away. I've been fortunate enough to not really run into anything, still walking sort of right. That middle I'll do sometimes if I know that I'm not in a real narrow passageway. We all develop our own techniques. One teacher will say do it this way, another instructor will say do it that. You end up mixing it and coming up with your own techniques. Case in point, if I'm turning the corner, I really don't use the long stick that's suggested. It almost comes up to my nose sometimes because, unfortunately, maybe only 3 times, which I'm glad to see, people have tripped over the stick. Along that stick being a good size also is to be able to verbalize. We have responsibility as well as the public. As you have responsibility seeing, we more or less have responsibility hearing. Coming around the corner to my right, and I'm pulling the stick in as I do that because I don't want anybody to trip over it. Don't want a broken stick, but that's secondary because it's a good thing, like with many things, it's good to have 2, if not 3 of those sticks, because it's inevitable that it will break at some point, some type of way, if you walk a lot, or you walk a little. There are hairy things that are like more challenging, like the BART station. So it sort of pays to have a decent memory, or halfway decent memory, as I like to call myself, where the machines are when you go to places like that to pay fares. They're always a lot of beautiful people willing to help me. I mean, you know, sometimes we get sort of absorbed with being independent because they sort of train you that way too. I'll say particularly more so in Seattle. I don't want to jump off into that location right now, but I'm just saying it's a different type of school as far as teaching you how to be independent. From walking to various distances to cooking. There's safety things you use, you know, while you're using cutlery, you know, so that you don't get cut. A lot of us common sense too, but then a lot of us marking. Say if you want a fourth of a cup, half a cup, you know where that first, second, third of dots are. That indicates certain measurements when you're cooking. How much you want to put this in. It may take us longer until you get used to something, you know, as it is with many feats, you know, that people are trying to achieve that they're not used to. I know I would dread the day in hell if I would ever burn a lasagna. I think my aunt or something would come back for a while and I could do all that. But you know, it's just something fun to cook. You know you're going to layer this first, layer that second, and you're just a lot of times hearing the process and feeling the process. Because you know the fat noodles aren't in that jar, you know, it's like, it's akin to anything else. The more you do it, you know what everything is. You know, so.
Michael, do you have special equipment when you cook?
Yes, I do. I have like a long handle thing that grabs like, let's say I think 14 by 12 pans, things like that. A lot of things have longer handles on them. We have different measuring ways of which we measure. And we have different things that we put on. I haven't done it in a long time. That we put on the knives to keep the blades from running into, you know, a finger or a fingernail or so. There's a stop gap there that would stop that blade from, that would stop that blade from, you know, doing any damage to you. There's some other ones. They're really not on my head right now because, as I say, I'm sorry about that. I haven't cooked in a while. But the really James Bond super toy I witnessed was at the school that I chose not to go to because I chose to go to the art class school. You know, this one was where you stayed, you know, on campus for 6 months, and they had a stove that if you put the pot on there, it will cook. But if you were to remove the pot and put your hand there, you would never burn it. I just thought that was so cool. I mean, I don't know. I didn't, like I say, I didn't go to that school over there. Albeit, I still learned, you know, to cook basic things. I mean, you know, you can smell if things are going to burn or something like that. But when it got to real fancy, not yet. What can I say? It's a fun thing to do, so I'll just say it's a procrastinated work in progress. I've been known to do that. But I'll get back to it one of these days. Right now, I'm
going to see if this is adjusted.
Yeah, sure.
Try it now.
Yeah, man, I've been, put your job in that. Yeah, it kind of goes in and out, yeah.
Try it now.
Yes, I think it's a little closer. There we are. How about that?
Good.
That's what it sounds like there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did that, yeah.
It's okay.
Let's see, where do we, leave off that, cooking. They have outings that they take us to, let's see, where they have a lot of skiing activity, the Sierras and things like that. I mean, you have some blind people that can ski, you know, damn near on that pro level that I've witnessed them hearing about. There's also been mentioned while I was in Seattle that 2 or 3 of us did skydiving.
Wow.
That's like a, you know, audio communication type thing. You would want it to be. But you know, we would have some real daredevil people. People say that I'm brave for doing what I do. I get out at 5 in the morning and do what I need to do. I said, I don't know, I just don't feel it, I don't think about it, but trust me, there are much braver ones. Bearing in mind, if you will, a 60 Minutes episode where this teenage kid would ski being blind down a 45-degree angle slope.
Wow.
And they didn't know what had caused his blindness until later they looked at it and it was a really big, you know, almost tennis ball size cancerous tumor there. And they were able to get rid of it though, but the way he would perform that skiing feat would be like he would go down and his dad would tell him by earpiece inside the helmet when to turn and when not to turn. And they asked him, well, did your dad ever miss the cue? He said, yeah, but I usually pick it up. Yeah, maybe in 2 lifetimes I would even think about trying something like that. But you know, hey, what can I say? Pluses and minuses with everything. Such as a car better. So, there's a, yes?
Michael, you said that you worked for Boeing. Did you work there before you were blind?
No, while I was blind. That's one of the introductory workforce situations that the Seattle Orientation Training Center for the Blind on 1800 Alaska Way sent you when you first started work. It's like what you do is assembly pieces that are for aircraft as well as like safety kits in case the soldiers would be hit by, you know, a type of gas or something like that. What we would do is put the tubing in correctly so it's on the little thing that they use just in case of being attacked by, you know, some outside substance or something. Let's see, what else would we do? Put together the little bitty pieces that go to the bigger pieces that go to the bigger pieces for the planes, things like that. Some of those things were stubborn too. There'd also be a lot of downtime there. I mean, the pieces just wouldn't come in a timely manner that the management would desire them to come into. So, I don't know, we could have a boring time there as well. But it was an experience being blind, you know. Having routes become just like your second nature to you. You know, after a while. And that's transit system there is a little bit more trickier than this one here. Case in point, you go down a regular BART level, and then you have to go down another level, go backwards the other way is 100 yards, and then maybe another one, and go about 50 yards. So, it would have been best to have an in-home support worker there. You know, but some people can do those real intricate distances. You know, where you have to remember a lot of little things. They get used to it like anything else.
Have you been to the lighthouse?
Oh yeah, I trained there before I left here for Seattle. Yeah, that was around, let's see, from about, let's see, excuse me for a minute. Yeah, from about 1980.
What do you think of them?
Oh, they're great. You know, they have a lot of talented people there. They'll tell you how to unfold bad habits, especially. You know, why walk a certain way with a stick as opposed to walking other ways. Why ask people to go by their elbow so when they turn, you can feel them turn, as opposed to putting your hand on their shoulder. I do kind of all 3 ways. Some people just want you to follow their voice. That's okay too. There's another directional that people give us, and it's called the clock. You may tell me to turn right, but I'm not knowing exactly how many degrees right. So we use 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Some people like the degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever. But for me, I find the clock works the best when being given instructions on which way to go. It can be confusing sometimes because people aren't used to giving directions facing you. So when they say right, they mean left. They say left, they mean right. I say, you know, I always pause on that because I might step in a snake hole. I mean, no offense, but I mean it happens. Yeah, but you know, I've been really blessed to really not have stepped in anything or any smelly mess in that 18 years. Just right on time, somebody will go and say, don't step there because of whatever or whatever. And I don't know, just continues to go on and go on and go on with good luck, I guess. As I say, people in San Francisco, you know, are very ADA friendly. You know, they're always there to help you and things like that.
So Michael,
yes.
Sometimes people say that if you lose one sense, like for you, you've lost your eyesight, the other senses are stronger. If you notice that, you have a stronger sense of smell or...
Yes, I do notice that. I don't know if it's that I haven't noticed it, but while I did have my sight and it was still there, or did it just, you know, I'll say spiritually get like that. I've been in situations where I've been across the street, a good-sized street like Turk, like Turk, and someone will say something, not at a whisper, but a little higher than a whisper, and I'll hear it. There have been situations where I have heard them speaking just above a whisper. Why that happens, who knows? As far as seeing any amount or any percentage, the shadows sometimes, depending on the light. Right now, what it looks like is a big blotch of a real dark gray blotch, I'll say. Sometimes, if somebody's sitting here or sitting somewhere else, I'll be able to see their silhouette. Never any colors, but just the silhouette of it. And that's to what extent that, my sight is.
Have you considered getting a guide dog?
No, not yet. Not till I get too young too old, I'm sorry. I'm really nervous. Too old to sing. I don't know. I kind of like big spaces for that type of thing. And I don't know. I'm kind of to the meditation thing when I'm walking a lot of times. You can call it selfishness or whatever, though, but I don't know. I just like that mingling with the people and things like that. Not ready for it yet. Dogs are nice. I'm always having fun with them. Saying jokish things, but not at this time, if I can help it.
I have a question.
Yes.
In your situation, have your doctors told you there's a chance your eyesight could be restored?
Yeah, I think I would be able to do that. As I understand at this point, they don't have anything yet for the optic nerve. I think they're working on things, but yeah, I think I would go ahead and take it back.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you could give advice to the world, what advice would you give?
Time is an irretrievable commodity. Don't waste it. Was that terrible or what?
No, wonderful.
It's okay. I need work. Yeah, well, I can kind of tell a few things, but yeah, sorry about pulling the mic away.
How does the public library serve blind people?
Very well. They've just restored our area where we are, which comes in off of the 100 Larkin Street side. And they have rooms with, computer setups where things are a little bit more automatic now. Case in point, if you're in an email, you want to delete it, you don't have to push Control key, F5. All you do is just indicate on the screen there, by way of audio, delete. Easy to play music, just punch YouTube in the search box, pull up what you want, and voila, it's there. There's a room that's more roomier. That room contains not only the computer, but the scanner, which allows us to place mail on it, and it'll read it while it's there. There's a thing that will transcribe what you have on the computer screen to Braille. That's a nice little toy too. Something good to stay in practice with. Reading of Braille itself has become a little bit like other things that are not as automated as the new tech stuff. It's becoming a toy of the past, but it's still good to keep up with it. That being via my teacher at Davina at the Lighthouse. It says, what if all the electronic stuff goes out one day? So you never know. Or something electronic goes out that you depend on, and you have to use the Braille instead. So.
Did it take you a long time to learn that?
Well, I'm a little slow, yeah. I guess I became like what an earmark for developing is in a lot of things. 6 months I started to understand what I was reading, and I had the basic form of Braille from singular letter, A, B, C, D, singular words being spelled out full, to having the contractions down. Things like what semicolons are. I'll tell you what a contraction is, for instance. If you dot, we're going horizontal now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Dot 1, dot 3, and dot 4 would be for the word more, if you feel that while you read. Now, if more is preceded by dot 5 in the previous cell of 6, that M would stand for mother, because that dot is there. More or less like shorthand, if you will. Father, the dot being the consonant rather. 1, 2, and 4, preceded by the fifth dot on the other cell, which means father. S, preceding dot would be the word some. S by itself would be so. And you have, you know.
So do you have to just memorize that?
Yes, you do. It becomes part of the memory and feel. The feel is the tricky part, and how to get coordinated when you are reading across one line and knowing when to drop to the other line to keep it flowing. That's the biggest challenge, to drop from the one line to the next line and keep the flow going. Yeah.
Could you tell me how old age you start?
Pardon?
Age, how old?
Age, okay, well, we're talking about 18 years ago. That would be, let's see, 45.
45.
45, that's right. I had seen most things. I'm grateful that I had seen most things. Some things that I don't see now, I miss sometimes. I don't get really down about it, but there's like a sore thing occasionally, like many other things in life. Was someone going to ask something? I thought I heard.
Do blind people still use Braille?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there are Braille things that connect to computers, that have Braille on them. People use them for certain things. I try to keep it simple. I go by the computer or either by audio book. But occasionally, let's see, twice a week I try to read something in Braille just to keep the practice up there. And I'm always going through it in my mind. Yeah. The audio books, oh man, they're great. I like those. And there's some great Braille books that they send us from the Library of Congress. If you want some really nice books, that's where you have to order from. I've received a few of those. Yeah. They like carrying around tomes, though, so people are kind of glad that concept is evaporated with new tech life and stuff now. On that part of the Braille part, having to carry around those big books. What can I say?
Michael, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you have to take medicines?
Pardon?
Are there medicines and things you put, or like eye drops and different things?
No, I don't take any medication except for what my high blood pressure is now.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's beyond, eye drops doing any good.
Yeah.
So, pretty much, yes.
Question.
Yeah.
You say about 45 you start slowly.
Right.
Age 4. Before that, just normal.
Yeah, pretty much normal. It was,
Nothing to do what you eat or you.
no. Drunk, alcohol, drugs, which I no longer recover from. Pretty much. Is this mic on? Is there anything else we want to segue to? Or?
So were you born and raised in San Francisco?
No, I've been here 40 years. Well, I've been out on the West Coast for 42 years. 2 years in Seattle, 40 years here. Originally from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
What area would you think was the easiest to get through life? I mean, transportation, whatever your...
This being the #1 transportation place in the world, the last I heard, this one by far.
Do you have any advice for everybody? Come to eye or wash your hands, things like that?
Oh, of course, wash your hands, eat natural foods when you can, because you can tell your body, get energized. Even with the part where my eyes are blind, and I eat fresh food, I still get energized too. So, yeah, it's like, hey, if I done something like too much coffee or if I had drank too much in one night, your mind's going to be less sharp, blind, just as it was when you could see, because you have to use your memory in places where you didn't when you had sight. Stay up too late doing something or just tiring yourself out beyond your capacity. Same effect. Anybody have any idea how much longer?
We could do a wrap. Any more questions, though?
Feel free.
Michael,
Yes.
do you still have some family members in Ohio?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually in Kentucky, right across from there, 2 sisters and a brother.
Oh, that's good.
And a niece in Ohio. Yes.
Your everyday life is somebody with you?
No, by myself for the most part. People are always offering to come up and help, but as I mentioned, that early in the morning walk is sort of like my meditation time of the day. Haven't really found it, too dangerous here. And then we have a lot of mobility vehicles too, like paratransit. Of course, the bus. It's a little buggy. You have to be a little patient with the paratransit though, but it's a safer mode of transportation. Taxi vouchers, those come in nicely. If you don't get carried away with them, because they do go fast. But they give a nice deal on those.
Is there anything that we could do at the senior center to make your visits here better? Or are there any activities you'd like to see here that to have us have here that we don't at the moment?
Oh, thank you for asking that. But it is a tough one too. Well, I don't know. Maybe this would be befitting to newer people than others. Like have a little path where when a blind person comes in, that they can follow to where it would cut up veer off either to the bathroom or make a direct line to the dining room.
Yeah.
Like say, those ropes that rope off people when they're in concerts and things.
Yeah.
That might help. But it's simple enough for me here now. I'm just not using my damn head sometimes, and I might veer off a little left. My style is correction instead of perfection, because if I'm going the right way, and you have to get these people doing this. No, go this way, go that way, and we already know, because we know we're in a general direction. We've had to learn to have patience with people trying to help us, because a lot of times we get disturbed by people making a sound, and we're depending on sound. You have to kind of get used to taking both, listening to people and knowing where you're going. Yeah. Some people say things 3 or 4 1 times. That's one of our bigger pet peeves, but you just stop patiently and say, I get it. Just keep going.
Yes, Michael,
Go.
when you get to the corner,
Right.
do you then listen for traffic?
Yeah, pretty much. I hear the rain and things like that outside, even the wind. But now, when I get to that corner of the desk, right where Joe and them sitting right there, right at the edge of the corner of the pole that you hold onto at the desk, I know that 2 o'clock is going to take me to the door. A lot of times we have those things, GPS, especially small things like this. I mean, you have kids and things that can run rings around. I mean, they have very intricate places mapped out in their heads, and it's like having like secondary motion. Yeah. When they do those things, yeah. One guy walks from, I don't know, way out in the Mission to the hospital every day to work. And now I'm seeing it, he works there. So there's some phenomenal people out there that really master those feats of getting around. Via dog or without a dog. Yeah. They don't walk with dogs in Seattle, and Seattle has really tricky 4-way traffic. And people know it like they know the back of their hand.
And their hills are much steeper than our hills, I think.
Right. Now, I don't need an in-home support worker here too much, but out there, yeah. It was a must. For me, anyway, in Seattle.
I was really impressed with the architect that became blind, and he figured out a way to continue to be an architect
Wow.
while he was blind, and he was hired by Bart to put in all these special effects in the new building, the transit building. And now he's on the board at the lighthouse. He also did changes at the lighthouse too.
Wow, that sounds like a dedicated student. That's phenomenal. Yeah, there are quite a few of us, doing some fantastic things out there. I'd also like to take a moment out to thank you guys for all your support and accommodation. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do tell some of the seniors this is one of my favorite ones. So, it's a matter of what you like. Safer in this area too. We're a little bit more mellower. Just so like I stop before I go from lunch to the library. Or if it's raining a little bit. So, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. That's just me chiding myself.
Thank you.
Y'all remember when I did some of it was future, yeah, but I'll need more work. Thank you, though.